Alrighty, fellas, good morning. Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, your host of the PokeMMO Stream Recap, your daily source of PokeMMO news, tips, tricks, information, discussion, and conversation, everything happening in the PokeMMO community every single day. First things first, I have to address Stream Recap 465 is now lost media. It was lost to time. The VOD is still up, but I had a recording mistake on my end, so apologies for that. And that Stream Recap is now lost forever. So the VOD is still going to go watch the full VOD, but there will be no Stream Recap upload for 465. We're going to skip right over to 466. So welcome to Stream Recap 466. Tomorrow is 467, or my 67 Zoomers in chat. It's crazy that we've been doing this for this long. It's crazy. Like, it was a big change when I made the switch from doing, I used to do 1 to 2 videos every single day, and a lot of which were guides, and I reached a point where I still have plenty of guides to make, honestly, but I reached a point where there were less guides to make and less things to cover in detail in Pokemon. Most resources are out there nowadays, which is a beautiful thing, and we had to make a huge switch in our content over to Stream Recaps, and I'm lucky to be here, lucky that it works, and hopefully you guys find it helpful, entertaining, and still a great source of information every single day. Now, we have some Streamathon stuff to still wrap up, or I guess recover. First things first, my top supporters in the Streamathon did get their names on a Tupid Eevee. These will be framed and put on my wall. We have Oso, we have Yasuo, we have Darth Hugs, and then we have Unlovable Rod. So these are all the 4 people who got their name on a Tupid Eevee. These will all be framed together in the future and put up somewhere over here, hopefully, on my wall. And I like the idea of like adding to it every Streamathon. The idea of like filling up the wall or having more and more people, I think it'd be a really cute little idea. So a cool way to show support for those who have shown me support in the past. Thank you guys so much. Next up, we have movie night. As part of the Streamathon, we have a movie night scheduled. This is coming up on the 6th, February 6th, Friday night at 5:30 p.m. ET. I try to make it after work for, you know, people in my time zone, but also mostly accessible for Britopian or European viewers, where it should be like, what, 10 or 11 p.m. for you guys. So hopefully this is accessible for a lot of people. It'll be, once again, Friday nights at 5:30 p.m. over in my Discord. If you want to come hang out, it'll be a pretty casual thing. Mostly, like, you know, keeping it quiet, letting people just watch the movie, but we will, what's it called? Shiny hunting alongside. And if you get a shiny, you're allowed to stream out like, yo, I got a shiny. I think that'll be a lot of fun and cute, and it's cool to, you know, see people alongside their journey, right? And their shiny journey. So next up, we have our typical Stream Recap intro stuff. We have our catch events and other beginner, I guess, news, daily news to cover. Let's go ahead and go find my browser. Boom, there we go. All right, first things first, we do have 2 different new catch events. The unknown catch event happening on Saturday the 7th of February. That is at 4 p.m. ET over in Salacian Ruins in Sinnoh. You have 1 hour to catch as many unknowns as possible and then submit the highest entry. There's no species bonus, no nature bonus, so it is literally just highest IV unknown wins, and whoever wins gets themselves a shiny unknown. A pretty, like, decently difficult shunt to take care of, so getting one for free. I love that Fungus is the only one that heart reacted this. Literally the unknown king. Like, that's so poetic. Beautiful shiny unknown catch event. Make sure to check it out if you're interested. Next up, an Electrike and Manectric catch event. Really beautiful shiny, a fan favorite for a lot of people, and very useful and pragmatic in raids. Okay, Sunday, the 8th of February at noon ET at Route 118 in Hoenn. You have 1 hour to catch Manectric, Ketleon, and Electrites with nature bonuses of +5 for Timid, +3 for Modest, and the prize is a shiny Electrike. You can go 3 selectable IVs, so 31 special attack, 31 speed, probably 31 HP. Otherwise, your choice of nature, probably Modest or Timid, depending on what you want to use it for. Focus on PvP or PVM, and then 3 times 28 in the other IVs. Plus, once again, free RP, free reward points as an Iron Man. This is what I really care about. This is what I really want to shoot for. There is some free RP always up for grabs. Those are the 2 big catch events coming up. And then next up, we have a cool little, you know what, from 2024, I'm a little behind, but I like shouting out these cool little client customization features, these little aspects, these little, this is a custom theme. This is a Minecraft based theme. And it's pretty simple, but I think it's cute. I mostly play PokeMMO with the vanilla theme, but occasionally I will switch it up to just sort of shake things up if I feel a little bit bored or burnt out on the game. One of the small things that's fun to do is to switch up your custom theme and see how it feels and shake things up a little bit. I really like the emerald being next to the Pokeyen stack. I think that's a really, like, the little the clock in Minecraft. I thought this was really cute. So it's over on the forums. Check that out. It's posted by Poncho on the forums, and it is under client customization if you are interested. And then next up, the second tournament of the VGC, like, long-term Stadium Grand Championship is probably the name for it, is now up and active. So the second tournament takes place, I believe, coming up on February 7th. Yeah, February 7th. Let's go through. If you don't know, this is a long is a series of tournaments, a series of events hosted by Zorua, if I recall correctly. Zorua, and they want to support and give some love to the VGC community and try to get some new players into VGC. So they're hosting these tournaments, like I think once a week, very, very regularly, where they give away 1.6 mil, 800k, and 300k for all the different placements and prizes. And these happen at 5 p.m. ET. February 7th is the next one, and here's you have to go to a specific location in game. It is not automated. It is at Pewter City, Kanto, north of Brock's Gym on channel 3. You do have to be on channel 3 to make sure you're at the right location. All the rules and details can be found over on the forums posted by Zorua over in the unofficial events tab on the PokeMMO forums. It's a great way to get into VGC. There are some like extra little rule sets to hopefully help beginners get into the format. It's a really cool, really fast-paced, very, very skill-based format that anybody can learn. And they're doing this thing where they're going to do 8 tournaments, and then the 9th tournament you have to have like won enough games or earned enough points within the structure to be able to participate in the finale. So try to get your points and make your way towards that finale. And then next up, Copper over on the forum, once again from 2024, but a really, really good tool, a really cool resource. He made a guide on how to complete your full Pokedex in PokeMMO, not just your Pokedex completion for Mount Silver. That's actually part 1. In his guide, Mount Silver is literally stage 1, which is so impressive. This is what most people want to complete their Pokedex for, is just getting Mount Silver access, which is a fantastic resource in PokeMMO. But there are a little bit of extra. If you're like a super completionist, if you like going for everything you possibly can, right? There are some really cool things you can do. You can actually see up to 631 Pokemon in the Pokedex. For example, on my Ironman account, I only have 617 Pokemon seen. A lot of people don't even know about these Pokemon. There are extra little legendaries and extra little weird little things around Pokemon where you can get out and fill out your Pokedex with extra information. For example, Latios and Latios can be found from the Unova Elite Four rebattles. Mew can be found by Morimoto, which is a trainer fight over in Castelia City. There's a bunch of little things like this. This one blew my mind yesterday. Manaphy. To have Manaphy seen in your Pokedex, you have to go to a specific room in Pokemon Mansion in Sinnoh and read a book. I've been playing this game for going on 13 years this year, over 10,000 hours. I had no idea. Like, there's so many extra little tidbits to always learn about PokeMMO. This is a fantastic resource. Shout out to Copper for posting this. It's over on the forums under Guide Tavern. Next up, we have a special shiny reaction to show you guys today that I'm very, very excited for. This comes from Drexstein in PokeMMO. Before I get to that, I want to cover one more thing. There has been a pretty big PvP tier change. So it was discussed recently, Politoed with Drizzle access, right? Politoed and Snorlax were being discussed whether or not they should drop to the NU tier. Politoed has been quick banned to Borderline 2. Now, what that means is Politoed is effectively in UU. To make the simplest explanation, it is basically too strong for NU and too weak for UU. So the tier that it's playable in is UU and OU, if I understand correctly. I'm no PvP expert, but Politoed is effectively not dropping to NU, which is the big news. And then Snorlax has dropped to NU and is having a bit of a struggle. I was shocked to see, let's see if the stats have changed. Yesterday, it's gotten a lot better, to be fair. Yesterday, Snorlax was sitting at a 44% win rate in PvP. It is now up to a 50%, 50.42. This one has a lot, just so many general stats, so much bulk as well as so much damage. I'm excited to see like what assault gear Snorlax can do. It's a really cool Pokemon. I'm really cool to see how people try to use it. Choppleberry. I was saying, like, if Snorlax dropped to NU like 2 years ago, it's at 14% usage and it just dropped the tier, right? That's honestly impressed because so many NU players probably had to go build Snorlaxes like from scratch. If Snorlax dropped to NU like 2 years ago, it probably would have been like insanely broken. But I almost wonder if it's a little bit too late. When you look at the top, NU metagame, you see things like Hitmontop up at the top, right? 22% usage. You see things like Blaziken. You see things like even Steelix. A lot of these Pokemon counter Snorlax pretty hard, right? Rotom is a pretty good check. Rotom's a good check. Swampert's a pretty decent check with a Rocky Helmet and going like bulky if it does. I guess it was leftovers nowadays. Relax leftovers. Like a lot of bulky, defensively bulky Pokemons and fighting types that can just check Snorlax super aggressively. So even though it's a really powerful mon, it would have been broken in NU like 2 years ago. I'm curious if the metagame won't allow it to really thrive in its current state, but we'll have to just see how that plays out with more time, more data, and more games being played over in the NU PvP tier. Next up, we do have a unique shiny reaction from Drexstein. I do have to give you a volume warning, okay? A volume warning. Let's just go ahead and play it and see what happened to Drexstein live on his Twitch stream. A little quiet at first because there's some copyright music that is muted, but it will get loud very soon. Audio warning.
What song this is? Like,
What? No! I love this reaction. It reminds me so much of my shiny Shuckle reaction. Just the sheer earnest panic. And it's a crazy moment. Even Twitch chat was going crazy. Twitch chat noticed before him, which is also hilarious. He was like distracted and looking away. What? He was checking his music and Twitch chat. Dude, this was an insane moment. Congrats to Drexstein. Drex, I don't know why it's so hard for me to say that. Apologies. Drexstein. We also have a quick little screenshot of that Zorua. Congratulations to you, man. 4,000 total encounters. 4,000 total encounters is just ridiculous. 31 speed IV. Congratulations, dude. And with that, we'll move on to the community showcase, where if you want to be featured in the PokeMMO community showcase, are you achieving something cool in game? Did you do a big shiny hunt recently? Did something, you know, really rare or really cool happen? Make sure to post it in my Discord under the community showcase chat. It should be down under like Patrouski content under that section. So congrats again over to Drexstein. But moving on in the community showcase, we have a lot of crazy community showcase stuff to cover. Okay, keep that in mind when I show you guys these achievements. These are 0.01% hyper rare. Like, these go viral and these go crazy for a reason. Okay, this might be one of the craziest achievement showcases I've actually shown on a stream recap. Okay, first things first, like this is the opening, you know, like this is like the casual opening. It's gonna be crazy. Sap Evolved got himself a shiny Riolu. Congratulations, dude. 39,000 encounters total dry. Just a nice, one of the rarest shinies in PokeMMO. If you don't know, it's really difficult to breed a shiny Riolu or Lucario because every time you breed it down, you have to evolve it into a Lucario before you can actually rebreed it, since Riolu is a baby Pokemon. So it's a pain in the butt to actually shiny hunt for this thing and egg hunt it. It's a very difficult shiny to go for. Congrats to Sap. Next up, this player, Fatty, was able to get 3 swarm shinies in 3 days during the Halloween event. This is obviously a few months ago, so it's a little bit late, but this guy was literally able to get, this is insane. He was alt account grinding like crazy. Apparently he was grinding the Halloween event with 9 alt accounts, which is insane. You know, good on him for his extra effort, for extra reward. So fucking crazy to see. He ended up farming a total of 1,100 dust balls and got a total of 5,000 swarm encounters, which is not nearly enough to get 3 shinies. And he very vehemently talked about that. Getting 3 shinies and 5,000 total swarm encounters is ridiculous. And here's a close-up, all the shinies. He got 2 shiny Shuppets and a shiny Spinarak. 2 of these shinies were at about 200 encounters. The Spinarak at 191, the Shuppet at 260, and then the other Shuppet at like 4,000 or something like that encounters. Just insanity. Congratulations to it was again to Fatty from Team Rad. I've seen them a lot pop up, so congrats, man. Hell yeah. Next up, Juju from Team Void, been seeing their name a lot recently as well, has put over 5,000 hours into PokeMMO across 3 different accounts and has done a total of 150,000 total eggs. Do you know how much it costs to do 150k eggs? For reference, it's about 150,000 times 5,000 Pokeyen, because it's that many Dittos. This is just the cost of Dittos, not even considering the cost of Pokeballs or any shiny charms or doing statuses or whatever. It cost him 750 million Pokeyen. 750 million Pokeyen cost for those 150k eggs. And he finally got his shiny Charmander after that grind. I always cross my fingers and I hope that nobody goes 150k dry on eggs. Like, it's just, going dry on eggs is just so different compared to anything else in PokeMMO. It's just so insane. You never want to see it. Congratulations to him. That's a crazy, crazy hunt. All right, next up, talk about first shinies, dude. I don't know how this keeps happening. Players are getting insane first shinies. This person just started playing PokeMMO pretty recently. They just joined my Discord server just to post that their first shiny ever in PokeMMO was a shiny Lapras from a swarm in Shoal Cave over in Hoenn. This is a crazy first shiny from a swarm. Insane to see. I think it's from Venti. Congratulations, Venti. An insane shiny Pokemon, dude. You should be extremely proud. This is a crazy. I think it was also at like, if I zoom, it's hard, it gets blurry, so excuse me, but I believe it was also at like not very many encounters. I think it's like I think it was like 2,200 encounters. Yes, like 2,200 encounters. Insanity from Venti, dude. Congratulations to you, man. And that covers all of our stream recap intro. I hope you guys enjoyed the daily news. I'm gonna jump into my Iron Man gameplay and grinding, making progress over here. We're about to reach 46,000 encounters dry here on this current shunt. I'll be legendary hunting today, ditto hunting, all that jazz, and slowly just getting more preparation done for the Lunar New Year event, which should be coming up on February 17th. If you are interested, the Lunar New Year event should be around February 17th. That's when the Lunar New Year event happens IRL. All right, let's jump into things. If you ever have any questions and you want to join the stream recap live, come watch the streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Always posted on in my Discord chat as well under is Patrouski live on whether or not I'm live that day or if any changes happen. So thanks for watching. Like the video if you're still here, subscribe, and let's jump into it, fellas. That's a good question. Someone was saying I came back to the game. I played in 2023 and I had, you know, some Ditto boxes. Are those worth any extra Pokeyen? I'm glad you double checked. I appreciate you asking. I don't think anything from like 2023 will have extra Pokeyen, or even someone said 2021. I think the Pokemon you'll see, and there's obviously certain outliers like alpha starters or whatever, you know, certain rare mons or whatever, but I think the oldest year where you'll start seeing an increase in value, and even this is like kind of like I'm being a little generous, right? I think it's like 2015. Like I myself will go back and buy like 2015 competitive Pokemon from Pokemon because it's nostalgic to me. I love that era, but that's kind of niche. I think the real era where you start to see an uptick in value is like 2013 and 2012. Obviously 2012 has a really nice base value. Thank you for the sub, by the way. I think you're probably a quick sec, but 2012 and 2013 are the real value increases. But I would say, like, I myself, I do really like to buy, I'll buy 2014 and 2015 competitive Pokemon every so often because I think there's a lot of really cool, like nostalgia. Like let's just go, like, this is have like E-punches. Let's see, like this is like, yes, this is so nostalgic. I love this Alakazam, man. I love this Alakazam. What is this? Modest. Okay, I have to actually paint a picture. This Alakazam would have been one of the most sought after, valuable, like this would have been one of the most amazing Pokemon in the game back in, what was this, 2014? This Alakazam literally would have been the god tier Pokemon. It would have been called god tier in trade chat, you know, back in 2014. Modest nature, 252 attack, 252 speed, 31 attack, 30 speed. This was insane back then. Breeding was different. You couldn't transfer over IVs the same way you can now. A lot of stuff was wild caught. This was hatched. It was bred, but it's still, you know, not, you couldn't transfer over the IVs guaranteed. Psychic, Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, Ice Punch. If you ran this today, it would be trolling because Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and Ice Punch are all physical attacks now. They're punches, right? Back then, these were all special attacks, right? These were all special attacks back in the day. So this would have been an insane Pokemon. I don't know when it was renamed to. I don't know when it was renamed that, to be fair, but this would have been an insane Pokemon back in 2014. One of the best comps, you know, to run against in OU or whatever. Let's see if I can find. Now I'm like interested in finding some other ones. Not, you know, not very good. Let's see if we can just browse. Marowak. Oh, this would have been a really good Marowak. Marowak was like an OU Pokemon back in the day. Marowak was one of the premier threats in OU PvP PokeMMO 2014 with this exact moveset. Yup, this was it. Swords Dance, dude. This guy was a fucking demon. It's real, dude. I almost want to hop to the main account and buy some of these. Like, that's how like nostalgic these are. The real thing would be if I can find. One of the coolest parts of looking through old Pokemon is finding OTs that you remember. That's the real, if you find a friend who doesn't play anymore, like that's the real old school MMO like feeling is, oh shit, this is somebody that I used to know, you know, and now they're off living their life. It's a beautiful thing. So this is really nostalgic to go through a lot of these, but this is really fucking cool. I think I might know who this is, but I'm not 100% certain. I used to have a friend who was a teammate. I was an 8-Bit Heroes, a team that me and Joshua had way back in the day, in like 2015. We co-led a team, and you know, we had a team member of ours who was a very talented beatboxer. He used to play a game called like Micro Vaults. Dude, these like vivid memories of like old friends. He was an avid beatboxer. He would always beatbox in TeamSpeak, and then he also played Micro Vaults. And I think his name was like Eargasm. This masquerade literally could be an old friend of mine's, but I don't remember for sure is the meme. But if you're ever out there, if it ever gets back to you, Eargasm, I forget your other username, but dude, much love to you. I remember that to this day. Not the Frags OT Hitmontop. Now I'm just reminiscing on old Pokemon. This is crazy. So man, I always say I have something called and Yetodai. Yeah, there's two Yetodai, which Yetodai I didn't know personally, but is a very, very talented gamer that I remember, as well as Frags. I never knew Frags personally. He was just a very, very talented PvP player. I actually have something that I call the Frags theory, which is, let me go scroll through for a quick sec, but you can actually usually check more Yetodai and Frags. You can usually check the PvP statistics, the leaderboards. Let's go see. To be fair, it's only February 4th, so this theory might not hold up today, okay? But I have a theory called the Frags theory, where if you go through all of the PvP leaderboards, Frags is almost always usually on one of them. I'm gonna scroll through and see if I can find him today. He may not be there today because it's you know, February 4th, so the season just started, but I'm gonna double check. A rare day where the Frags theory, you know, does not come through, but that's almost always the case. There are a lot of high level old school players still on the leaderboards. It's crazy, like how there's so many people that have played PokeMMO PvP since 2014 that are still on the leaderboards to this day, which is insane. They just reset. They still actively play. It's really impressive. Never mind, guys. I'll save the burger story for another day. We have something more important to talk about. Oh, the name. Oh, dude. Smoke. Is this the first one in game? Is this the first one? Alpha Aerodactyl only recently got added to the game.
I am still here.
This might be, we don't know. This might be the first Shalfa Aerodactyl to ever touch the PokeMMO server. This alpha was just added recently to the game. What a beautiful Shalfa with the pink and the yellow and the blue, the like strong blue wings. How did you make it all? Did you already breed it up to be competitive? This was a cost a fortune. The Spyro name with like the love ball. Smoke, Jolly Nature, the EV Train, 31 attack. This is going to be a PvP raid usable. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Aerodactyl, man. Holy. This might be the first. It hatched that way? No, it didn't. You're lying to me. There's no way. Tell me, were you breeding just a competitive Aerodactyl and it rolled Shalfa? Don't just lie to me. Actually, just lie to me and say, no, I like specifically shunted for it. I'm waiting for the answer in Twitch chat. There's no way. Were you breeding for like a competitive Aerodactyl and you just randomly rolled it? Oh, dude. I need to know. That's from Smoke JPEG. He was demoing a friend on how he was helping someone. No, that is the most insane positive karma I've ever seen. He was helping to teach a friend on how to breed alphas. I was showing a teammate how I breed my alphas. What the fuck? That's insane. And the nature. Okay, that is actually. No, that's insane. This is actually one of the craziest. This would be oh man, at a shiny rating with the story, this might be a 10 out of 10. Or like I think it's a historical shiny. I get very, very few shiny 10 out of 10s. I'm like throwing my Jimmy run, but this is more important. Who cares? He was helping a friend. He was showing a friend how to breed alpha Pokemon in PokeMMO, and he was breeding up the IVs. But then he randomly rolled the Jolly, which is like 1 in 32. There's 32 natures. Like that's 1 in 32 to roll the perfect nature. Breeding, dude, that is legendary, man. That's fucking historic. And on top of it, once again, that whole story, on top of it being maybe the first Shalfa Aerodactyl in game. insane. The loaded die is so poetic for the origin. Like that is crazy, man. Congratulations, Smoke. That is a beautiful, beautiful story. Here's someone just asked a very interesting question. They said, was the shiny rates in PokeMMO the same back in the day? And that is weirdly a very complicated, very controversial question that I don't have a perfect answer to. I do have a video on that from about 3 years ago called The History of the Shiny Rate in PokeMMO that I'm going to go ahead and link. If you're interested, it's on my if you're watching the recap, it's on my channel if you're interested. That might be one of the biggest sources of, I always say, some people will say they don't trust the devs, and I'll ask them why, and they'll kind of just be like, we'll shrug. But if I asked you, if someone said they don't trust the devs because of shiny rate discrepancies in the past, I'd be like, that's a valid opinion. I understand. I trust the devs. I believe in them. I believe it, but it's a very valid, like, that's one of the most controversial parts of PokeMon history is the potential ever changing. It's a whole it's very, very nuanced. I've been watching the video. I have a video on it if you want to learn the history of the shiny rate in PokeMMO. Dude, I haven't even thought about that, Xerix. We were talking about we've still never seen, the sun is in my eyes today, apologies, we've still never seen a shiny Shaymin in PokeMMO, and I kind of can't believe it's crazy. It's been 2 years now. The third year is coming up in like 2 weeks, right? You could be the first person ever to get shiny Shaymin in PokeMMO in the next 2 weeks with the Lunar New Year event, okay? But Xerix said, how funny would it be if an Iron Man got it? There are so few, like only a couple hundred Iron Man in all of PokeMMO. If the one shiny Shaymin that gets brought into the game is on an Iron Man account and it never enters the GTL, it never, like, that would be insane. But I also wouldn't fault an Iron Man for, like, dude, I'm a big advocate of not selling your OT shinies, you know, keeping those memories, type beat. If an Iron Man got the first shiny Shaymin and was like, you know what, I had a good run, I'm gonna sell this thing for like 2 billion Pokeyen and retire and, like, you know, have enough Pokeyen for the rest of my PokeMMO career, I would be like, I don't even blame you. Like, that's one of those things, like, dude, I get it, man. Selling a shiny legendary, like a historical shiny like that for that much Pokeyen, like, I get when you're entering, like, you know, billions of Pokeyen for one shiny, I get why it might be time to hang up the Iron Man coat. I would understand that a lot. This is a great question. Someone said, I forgot if you mentioned it, but before, would you allow Iron Man accounts to send Pokemon out to their other accounts, like if you caught a shiny Ditto and needed it for the main? I have come to the point, in my opinion, I think I haven't done it yet, but like, I think it's similar to, like, on my Ultimate Iron Man account, I got like 3 different pairs of Ranger boots because I'm a spoon and I'm super lucky. And I would drop trade those to the main account for, you know, gold or whatever in RuneScape, right? I think if an Iron Man wants to trade out extra resources they don't need, like, you're gonna reach a point where, like, instead of just releasing a bunch of good IV Pokemon, like 1x31s or competitive mons, I think it's totally fine as long as you don't trade any new resources like that. You know, you can't trade back and forth, obviously, but it's similar to drop trading in old RuneScape, which is what you can do with an Iron Man account. I think it's totally fine if Iron Men want to trade off resources that they would just delete on their account anyways, to go sell them on their main account. I personally think it's totally fine. That's just my personal rule set. Is Pokemon worth playing as a new player right now? Absolutely. Like, even so much so with the event coming up. The Lunar New Year event, which is most likely coming up around February 17th, is the most friendly new player holiday event that exists. Almost all of the content, aside from raids, is accessible within like a days of playtime. Like, that little. I always say, last year I did a challenge account called Lunar New Year Andy, where I made a new account from scratch, and I was able to make 1 million Pokeyen in 1 day, from scratch, by just playing the account, getting over to Abundant Shrine, and grinding the event. And the Abundant Shrine is a really fun way to earn money as well. It's like a dungeon. It's like a survival, almost like tower defense, kind of, not really, like pursue the enemies, but it's like a survival wave-based style of combat where you are the Pokemon themselves, and you have to, like, manage your resources, like managing your PP and your healing and stuff like that. Yeah. The Lunar New Year event is literally the most beginner-friendly event, and it's going to give you a huge jump start in PokeMMO. One of the biggest negatives of Pokemon right now is the variety of money-making methods is unfortunately not great. The Lunar New Year event is going to allow you to skip that problem as a new player. It's literally going to allow you to grind that Pokeyen, and not have to worry about Pokeyen for a while. You could grind 3 million Pokeyen as a new player in the event, probably more than that really easily, but like easily 3 mil, right? And that's going to take care of you for a while. You'll have to be able to skip a lot of the early grinds and money making. So it's a huge boost for your accounts to play the Lunar New Year event as a new player. It's literally the best event to play as a new player. I cannot recommend it enough. Great. I'm glad you asked. Great question. Do you think the average new player will be able to do Shiny Wars this year? The average new player, I'm going to be honest, no. Shiny Wars is not for the average player. It's like saying, like, do you think if someone started playing football this year in high school, could they do the Super Bowl? No. Like that, like Shiny Wars is not meant to be accessible. It is not meant to be, you know, open to, like, you can't now. Could a new player who is very special and very hardworking and grinds really hard participate in Shiny Wars this year? Yes, they could. But it takes a special person in a lot of aspects, in a lot of work ethic, a lot of free time. There's a lot of factors, right? Specific lifestyle, a lot of drive. It takes a specific person to do Shiny Wars. It really, really does. I could your average person, even your average 2-year veteran, I don't think they could do Shiny Wars, but I guess like your average 2-year veteran, I wouldn't even like recommend Shiny Wars to. Shiny Wars is something. People that do Shiny Wars are people that couldn't not do Shiny Wars, if that makes sense. You don't choose to do Shiny Wars. Shiny Wars calls to you. It is like the people that participate in Shiny Wars, it's like their life's calling. It is like it's their passion, their pursuit, their desire. It's something truly, truly intense for some very special grinders, you know? Anybody can do it, I guess, but it's more like, I guess, will you place top 50? Will you place top, you know, whatever? It's Shiny Wars is incredibly hardcore, incredibly intense. People went into billions of Pokeyen in debt. People would like to, I don't know the math on placing top 50 to be fair, but like to place top 3, like players were playing 14 to 16 hours a day. Like that's like the bare minimum. Maybe not minimum, but like it's what it takes. It's literally, if I asked you, what would it take to be the top 75 in literally any game or anything, or being the best at anything in the world is fucking hard. Being the best basket weaver, being the best crocheter, being the best knitter, being the best coder, being best football player, I don't care what it is, being the best is hard. And being the best shiny hunter, being the best shiny hunting team, being top 3 Shiny Wars level is very hard. I think top 50, I wouldn't say top 50 isn't, I don't know, I'll have to see. Top 50 is actually an interesting, so top 50 you do get a vanity, but not the vanity. Top 50 I don't know if we know enough about yet. I think I need to see this year. I would love to run a poll and get data and see like what's the average hours that someone put in to get top 50. You might be able to do like 6 hours a day and get top 50. That I just don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see more data this year and see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Great question. This is like a hilariously funny question. Is Payday still a viable solution? How's that changed over the years? In my opinion, Payday's kind of become more viable again, which is a crazy thing to witness. Back in like 2021 to 2023, maybe up until Johto's release, Payday pickuping was like a lazy way to make some fine Pokeyen. Like you wouldn't do it if you were trying to like make money efficiently, but it was a fine, like really brain dead AFK thing to do. And you could do it over at Dragon Spiral Tower and also Shiny Hunt for Dratini at the same time, right? You would make like 100 to 120,000 Pokeyen per hour if you sold the drops like the Comet Shards and the Dragon Fangs and other things you have to sell. The pickup items are a lot of the profit, okay? Make sure you sell those items. So like Payday pickup back in like 2020 to 2021 would make about 100 to 120k an hour. And that was like fine. But then like 2023 to 2025, Payday pickup kind of got power crept and it wasn't as good anymore. And it was like, it didn't make enough Pokeyen to be really worth it. And we got Dragon's Den, which was a better way to farm Dratini, Shiny Dratini. So it kind of fell out of favor. But now, due to certain market changes and economy problems, money making, there's less methods and the money making is less good. You make less Pokeyen per hour nowadays. Payday pickup is kind of back on the menu, boys. Like it's funny to see it loop around, but Payday pickup is kind of like, it's not an amazing method, but it's like a viable, in my opinion. I think if you were Payday picking between like 2023 and 2025, it was like not worth it. Like almost as other brain dead methods and other, just almost never worth it. But like nowadays, like if I saw someone Payday picking, I'd be like, I get it. It's not the best money, but it's like it's viable in my opinion. It's like understandable to be doing nowadays because pure yen is hard to come by. Yeah, same with trainer reruns. Trainer reruns are kind of back on the menu. They were a little, they were not worth doing. I think if, as an endgame player, like, instead you would rather breed for profit or flip or whatever. But now I think trainer reruns are kind of back on the menu. Absolutely. Alrighty, fellas, the wife is home. You know what that means. The stream is going to come to an end. A lot of fun today. Really enjoyable stream. Hope you guys had fun. Like the stream if you did. Dislike if not. If you learned something, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to see PokeMMO videos every single day. Catch my streams on Twitch Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. If you want to go above and beyond and support the content, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal and Venmo donations do allow me to be here. Thank you guys for your support. I will see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow on Thursday for the final stream of the week. And for now, have a good Wednesday, guys. I'll see you later. But for now, peace arena. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.